What is up, guys? Welcome back to Wrestling Crossroads. As always, I'm one half your dynamic duo, Twisted, alongside Brother Pyro.
What up, what up, what up?
And we are recapping NXT No Mercy.
Woo!
All right, let's jump straight into it. First match on the card was Bron Breakker taking on Baron Corbin. Now, obviously we didn't necessarily know kind of the storyline between this, but we had seen in the promos that this was all about respect. Bron Breakker not having any respect for men like Baron Corbin, any respect for the men on the main roster, and Baron Corbin really taking it very personally.
Oh, he definitely took that to heart.
Yeah, and saying, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to make you have respect for us.
You're gonna respect me one way or another. You're going to respect me.
Mm-hmm. I was surprised that this match wasn't any longer than it was. It did start with a nice beatdown before the bell.
I think it had an appropriate match or a time length from even before the bell to end bell.
I mean, I was talking, technical match bell to bell was really short, but they did have a couple, at least a good chunk of time outside of the ring before the match.
Yeah.
To kind of get this rivalry continuing and started.
And that's why I said, I think overall, I think the time length was good. I think, I think them using that, setup brawl to make the match itself relatively,
more hyped, would you say? Or more interesting? I don't know.
The match itself relatively short.
Okay.
That, pre-match brawl between the two, keeping the match itself relatively short, I think was a smart booking decision.
Okay. So, ultimately, picking up the win, Baron Corbin.
I'm really happy about that. I think this is a good way to continue the feud, but also
a good way to give Baron the momentum that he's kind of needed for years.
He hasn't had in a long while. I will say, overall, this show as a whole proved to us that certain stars on the NXT brand have kind of outgrown NXT. Bron Breakker being one of them.
Definitely. He's ready. I think he's ready for main roster, guys.
Yeah. I've been saying it for at least 6 months to a year now that this man is going to be on the main roster sooner rather than later, and I think now would be the perfect time to do it, or at conclusion of this feud.
Yes,
is where you make it happen, and I think Corbin is a good exiting strategy for Bron. I personally like that NXT has incorporated a lot of the main roster guys and gals. Because I think that's an even better way to test how ready are you.
I agree. So your grade for this match?
B.
Okay.
B. It started off really strong. I think the momentum did die a little once the match actually started.
Yeah.
It didn't completely die, but it definitely, you can tell, didn't have as much traction. But it was still really fun. It gave us exactly what we needed out of this. Two grown-ass men beating the hell out of each other in the name of respect.
Yeah. Okay. Take us into our next match.
North American Championship on the line. Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Trick Williams, special guest referee, Dragon Lee. This match was actually a lot of fun. You got to see a lot of what Trick can do. Them playing into the storyline with Dragon Lee, especially with him being ref, really helped emphasize the importance of what this match is. I also really love to, really like that, he kept his word. He called it down the middle.
Yeah.
Because he said, I'm going to call it down the middle. I 100%, once I remembered, oh, hey, Dragon Lee is ref, my head immediately went to, he's just going to screw Dom because he's pissed he lost the championship.
Right.
Or he's going to screw Trick to try to, weasel his way into a rematch. Thankfully, that wasn't the case. The match was called evenly, straight down the middle. I think he did a really good job. You can definitely tell he wasn't afraid to mix it up with either one of the competitors because there was brief moments in time where he really did get in the face of both of them. Like, hey,
there was a moment where he went down,
pay
and we
attention.
did have a second ref get brought in.
Yep.
And in true ref fashion, Dragon Lee stayed down for at least 5 minutes.
Yes. He read that WWE referee handbook and took it to heart.
Mm-hmm. Read that shit cover to cover.
In one match, he's done more better as a referee than most of the ones on the AEW payroll.
I was literally gonna say maybe AEW needs to snag that handbook just once.
They did. Remember, they crossed out like 90% of it.
Yep. Swear to God.
But picking up the win, your new NXT North American champion, Trick Williams. I am really happy to see him get this singles glory. He definitely deserves it.
He does.
And I love
every bit of it.
That he's going to have a moment to shine. Sorry.
Pig?
I'm sorry, excuse me. Gas happens. It is a natural bodily occurrence. Thank you, madam.
Grade for this match?
I gave it a B-. Or B+, I'm sorry.
B+. All right. Jumping into our next match, we have the Fatal 4-Way for the NXT Tag Team Championship. The family defends against the Creed Brothers, Los Lotarios, and OTM, which is out of the mud. I don't know them.
Managed by Scripps.
Formerly known as Reggie. Because y'all gotta change fucking names like it's the toss of a coin. Do we keep it? Do we change it? Let's flip a coin. Head says we change it. Oh, there's the president. Swear to God.
I hate you. Yeah. I love you, but I hate you.
Yeah, I know. This match was everything I thought it was going to be. This was everybody putting their bodies on the line and really showing why they want this championship. The Creed Brothers showing why they should take this back, why they deserve to take this back. Los Lotarios showing, we are, going to be, we think that we're going to be next top. We came from NXT. We went to the main roster. Things kind of flopped. Now we're back. We really want the gold. And OTM just kind of showing that,
we may be young, but we're hungry.
We may be new, but we're hungry.
Yeah. Well, they're also relatively young. They're only in their early 20s.
Yeah.
So, I think they were the youngest team to compete right now. I do love the seriousness of Los Lotharios going into this match.
Yeah, with the wolf claws.
The wolf claws, and honestly, just seeing this newfound aggression again, I can actually get behind them as a team. Team now.
I'm excited to see what this all brings for them. But ultimately picking up the win.
I want to say another thing that I really love that they touched on was the mutual respect / kind of alliance with the Creeds and the family. Yeah. Because
you got to see that a lot.
You got to see that, but the mutual respect and both teams really understanding, hey, this is for the titles. We're gonna still beat the hell out of each other because we know what is on the line. Our business relationship or our personal relationship aside, we got a job to do here.
Yes.
And everybody understood it. Everybody respected it. Loved that. Again, we got this caliber of a match out of all four teams.
Mm-hmm. So ultimately picking up the win and retaining was the family. I know it took you a while to kind of get behind this gimmick.
See, I loved Tony D'Angelo as an individual, as the Don, really took me a minute, and then once they started making it more mafia, Godfather-esque, family business, I was like, okay, I love mafia movies. I love mobsters. Now I have something to cling to with this gimmick.
Now you have something to get behind.
Yeah. Exactly, because at first I didn't know what they were doing with it. Yeah. Now that once they actually hey, here's the story and the direction we're going, and it wasn't so open-ended, I was like, now I have something to follow. Now it's a matter of, can I get behind it?
And you can.
And I got behind it almost immediately.
Of course. So your grade with this match?
A-.
Okay. All right. Take us into our next match.
The Heritage Cup. Butch winning this opportunity via the Heritage Invitational.
Mm-hmm.
Taking on Noam Dar. I will say the choice of Tyler Bate in his corner. Thank you for making that happen, WWE Universe.
Yeah, that was a beautiful choice.
That was. Hey, and you know what? It really did help even
things out
with
because
Metaphor for the most part.
not even just necessarily with Metaphor, but this is somebody who's been in this predicament a lot of times because Noam likes to. You got to see it. Noam likes
to bend the rules.
Yes.
Like the cheap shot. You clearly heard the bell. And then that elbow to Butch at the end of the first round.
And the thing is every Heritage Cup, anytime he's defended it that I have seen, he always does that. At least within the first 3 rounds, he will always take that cheap shot after the bell.
And you know what? Going into that second round, that's what I think helped him pick up that first fall.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm sorry, Butch.
Mm-hmm.
You knew exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Was able to recover, bounce back relatively quick.
And got his own fall.
Got his own fall early in the third. And then actually also bent the rules a little bit in his favor in the later rounds. Because first off, this is the first time I've really seen the Heritage Cup go all 6 rounds.
Yes.
I will state. Again, this whole match, there was definitely heavy influence from Metaphor. Again, that kind of what helped him get that first fall.
Mm-hmm.
But again, Tyler Bate on the outside.
Yes.
Helped a lot.
Helped a significant amount in this match.
But I love the after the bell. I'm still going to stomp on your elbow, sir.
Yeah.
Giving Noam a taste of his own medicine.
And I think if anybody was going to, it was definitely going to be Butch.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. Ultimately picking up the win.
Thanks to Gallus getting involved.
Yeah. It took Gallus getting involved, beating up Pete Dunne. The referee was taken out at this point for like a small period of time. Or distracted with what was going on the outside didn't see Joe Coffey enter the ring, hit his finisher on Butch. Noam Dar capitalizing.
So to fix what you had actually said.
Yes, thank you.
So you had 2 members, Mark Coffey and Wolfgang, who attacked Tyler Bate outside of the ring while Metaphor was distracting the ref on the other side.
There it is. Thank you.
Right hand Mensa then hit Butch one time. Joe Coffey gets in the ring, hits him again. Noam Dar ultimately picking up the win with that one.
Capitalizing, picking up the win, leading to what is going to be a fantastic Tuesday night in a tag team match of Butch and Tyler Bate versus Gallus.
I don't think Gallus boys are going to be on top for that one.
Oh, the Gallus boys, I think, have bitten off more than they can chew, my love.
Mm-hmm.
Again, just really loved this match, by the way.
Your grade?
B. Okay. B, and that's only because it was going great. It was going great. That ending kind of killed it for me, but I will agree with something Vic Joseph said.
Yes.
It took 7 men to beat Butch.
Mm-hmm.
It took 7 people. All 4 members of Metaphor, that includes Noam, and then all 3 Gallus members to beat Butch.
Yeah. It doesn't take just one single man to take down Butch.
So that doesn't tell you what kind of a threat he is.
Even as his old, his former gimmick, whatever you want to say.
The only thing that's changed about it is his name.
Bruiser weight.
I love every second of it, and also at some point upon his return to the main roster, mid-card, and work his way up to the main event picture, please.
Yeah, please. I mean,
please. He is the second longest reigning NXT UK champion.
Yep.
He's been a Dusty Cup winner,
Mm-hmm.
runner-up in the UK Classic.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely made a name for himself because upon them introducing the competitors, I don't remember who it was that he just completely laid out.
But he did. He made a name for himself right off the bat.
Triple H told him, make a name for yourself, make me remember you, and well, and here we are some years later.
Yep. Alrighty, jumping into our next one. NXT Championship on the line. Carmelo Hayes defends against Ilja Draganov. Now, I have it written down specifically because I love the way that they did Carmelo Hayes' entrance. As we all know, if you've watched NXT, whenever Hayes has a championship defense, he will hang your name in the rafters on a jersey. That's his thing. And so they started showing his big defenses. Breakker. And in my yard, we don't bark, we bite. Waller. How you gonna do a shoey over my body when I throw your shoes over the power lines? Dar. And still, Draganov won. And for one, it's gonna be champagne, and for the other, just pain. Lee. Don't go chasing waterfalls, just stick to the rivers and lakes you're used to, boy. And for Draganov, 2. Do I think you can be NXT champion and carry this and all its responsibilities? Absolutely. But do I think you can do it better than Carmelo Hayes? Absolutely not. So, over the summer, NXT Great American Bash, we got to see these two have part 1 of their rivalry and put on an instant classic.
I never thought that this rivalry or that feud would go the way it did.
But it did.
I didn't even think that match was going to hit on the cylinders and level that it did. But it did.
It was absolutely beautiful. These men showed why they are here, why each of them deserves to be champion, and they did not take no for an answer on either end.
They definitely showed what this company, what this strap meant to them, and it was insane.
There was a ton of back and forth, close call after close call after close call.
Had to go into your bag of tricks.
Yeah, you had to dig deep as far as you could. I mean, we saw Ilja busted open. You really had to push yourself in this.
I will say, because I know you liked the entrance and everything that's the quotes and the promos. Yes. That one of my things in setting up the rematch. One thing that he told Ilja that that really stuck with me was there isn't an asterisk next to our match.
No,
it was clear as that. Like he told him, there was no asterisk. Clear as day. I beat you.
Yes, you're referring to the Great American Bash when Ilja did jump out of the ring into counter Trick Williams, who was on the outside.
Who, mind you, didn't actually get involved with the match. He just stood there.
And ultimately, upon jumping, Trick holding the title caught Ilja in the head, and that, when Ilja got back in the ring, allowed Carmelo to capitalize. So this was a lot of Melo having to prove that he can beat Ilja.
I mean, and in reality, that was just circumstance, because it's not like Trick swing and smacked him. He was, he's standing there trying to show his boy, this is what you're fighting for. That was it.
Well, you don't want the distraction. You don't want that person to fight for that because you want that.
But still, he didn't actually get involved. It wasn't,
Yeah, no.
He didn't attack him with the title.
This isn't no main roster bullshit.
Like, straight up, Trick was just standing there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he was holding the title, but he was just standing there. Ilja let himself get distracted, and that for no reason. Because again, there was no involvement. Trick did nothing to get distract him, nothing to actually get himself involved in this match. That first match in any way.
Mm-hmm.
Ilja took his eyes off the prize in match 1. Guess what? That's what cost him. Not him jumping and hitting the title. No, it was taking his eyes off the prize. Because if he wasn't worried about Trick being there, he would have walked out of Great American Bash NXT champion. And I stand on that.
Okay. Well, it did take, if I remember correctly, I think 5 of Ilja's finishing moves in order to finally crown himself NXT champion.
Melo didn't miss. He was blocked.
Yes.
Because literally Ilja had a counter for every time he went for nothing but net.
Ilja learned from the first time that they got in the ring together. He watched that match
You
back.
know he did.
He calculated everything.
You know, and this time, guess what happened? He didn't take his eyes off the prize. He knew
exactly what he was going to do.
He knew exactly what he needed to do, and that was stay. Don't let his emotions get the better of him. Don't play into any other mind game BS that would have
gotten him before.
Would have gotten him before. Focus on the mission. Focus on the objective, and the objective was take out Melo, walk out of here with gold.
Yep. So your grade for this one?
A.
All right. Take us into our main event.
Extreme Rules match. NXT Women's Championship. Becky Lynch, Tiffany Stratton, and what I will say was chef's kiss perfection.
Absolutely. I say that this could even be one of our match of the year candidates.
Oh, absolutely. This was match of the night.
It was.
I was 100% like, oh, it's going to be Ilja Melo.
Till you saw this
Close second. Going back to a point that I made earlier, by the way, when I said, there are 3 people that this show proved needed to be on the main roster as of yesterday. Bron, Melo, and after watching this weekend, Tiffany is the other name. Yep. Tiffany is that other name. Tiffany has shown, like, these 3 came in at NXT 2.0 and it was all sunshine and rainbows and, Vince run.
Yeah.
To then the white and gold era.
Mm-hmm.
That is now Shawn Michaels led.
Yes.
It is. It is time.
It is showing exactly what black and gold was.
They are big fish, small pond, and it is time to expand their horizons.
It is. I want to point out something before we do get into this match. Something that I had seen. Every single match here had somebody that not only competed, but came from the main roster. So starting with our first match, we have Baron Corbin.
Bron has also competed on the main roster at one point.
But he comes, from the main roster. You have Dominic Mysterio. In the Fatal 4-Way, you have both members of Los Lotharios. Sorry. In your next one, you have Butch. I believe it was Hayes who competed on the main roster once.
At one point.
And then Becky.
Yeah.
So you had the main roster represented in every single one of these matches.
Again, I think that this is just on a scale. I think this was a really good way for them to see how ready are you. This is their third brand. This establishes NXT as its third brand, thankfully.
Definitely does.
But also, this helps you realize who's ready for this. Mm-hmm. Who's truly ready. Like, the guys like Corbin, Dom, Los Lotharios, Butch, Becky, like, those are all battle-tested.
Yeah, we have been on the main roster for a while.
Like, battle-tested guys and girls. Like, who's ready to step up to the plate? Because they're not going to be around forever.
Mm-hmm.
Who's ready to fill those shoes?
I mean, even to say it.
and I'm going to say it, everyone on the card for NXT's No Mercy stepped up, showed out, and did exactly
What they needed
to be done.
Mm-hmm. I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, Tiffany, you will get into parts of the match in a little bit, but Tiffany Stratton took a WrestleMania main eventer to her limits.
Absolute limit. Like, Becky definitely didn't have an easy time. She had to dig into some bags into a couple bags of tricks to get through this match.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about this match? Take us through little bits.
Oh my, I don't even know where to start with this match. Because, like, the whole thing from the jump was
hard hitting.
Like, first off, the Cactus Jack-esque attire and momentum that Becky carried coming into this match and getting through it was insane.
Coming out with the shopping cart, doing a little bit of shopping in the back for all her Extreme Rules toys and trinkets that she was going to use throughout this was really nice to see.
Like, and again, just watching Tiffany really, like, dig to a level that I didn't think we would. Like,
I don't think we'd ever see.
Tiffany was the pretty girl, like, afraid to get her hands dirty.
Malibu Barbie is
she definitely didn't have any issue with this one.
Dirty, yeah, I remember the thing that had started this was Becky had said, "Thanks for stepping out of your Mattel box to come to Payback," and that really shows that that's what Tiffany was seen as.
Where Tiffany started versus where she's at now are two completely different competitors. It is night and day different, and I am in love with
all of it. So, bits and pieces of the match, we obviously got to see every little trick come out of the bag that was underneath the ring for WWE, which was really nice. Seeing these girls not be afraid to get their hands dirty, not afraid to, obviously, Tiffany came out with brass knuckles, tried to keep her intimidation face when Becky had came out with the shopping cart of everything. I really want to point out that Becky's attire was very nice. She had the names of her daughter, her husband, Bray Wyatt in memoriam, and all of her old gimmicks.
Literally her Becky era shirt.
Yes. It was absolutely beautiful.
It was great.
And if that were to ever be something that they sell, I would totally buy it.
Oh, I'd buy like 17 of them.
It was a really nice
I absolutely loved it. Like, just to see her, and that's how she's really battle tested and what this company means. Like, she was like, not only was she paying homage to her kid or like showing like this is what I'm doing this for, but like just being able to see the evolution of Becky just through that shirt.
Yes,
was beautiful.
On the back we had Last Kicker, we had the Man, we had Big Time, we had NXT.
Personally, one of my favorite gimmicks will always be the Last Kicker.
Mm-hmm.
Big Time Bex definitely can
disappear and never come back.
Be forgotten.
Again. That was one that was just very cringy.
It was very cringy.
Yes. So
the table spot that didn't. The table that didn't break all the way through
was absolutely terrifying for a moment.
But Tiffany with two very beautiful swantons.
Yes, beautiful swanton.
She hit those, and I'm like, "Oh, this is it. She's regaining the title."
It didn't happen at the moment.
How are you still moving, bitch?
It took. I'll let you kind of give us our closing moments.
It took
a manhandle slam.
So much. Because it took, at one point, a disarmer, a manhandle slam on a pile of chairs, and a lot of a lot of evasive maneuver to pull this match off and to give Becky Lynch the retention of that title. Because, oh my God, did it take a lot to get her here.
It tested her.
At this point, if there isn't some kind of mutual respect amongst competitors, somebody did something wrong, and I'm gonna hurt
whoever is wrong.
Because, you know what? Put your big girl panties on. Like, this was one for the ages.
Absolutely beautiful.
Becky taking that cut to the arm, stitches.
Yep. Recover quickly because she is currently out of action for this Monday when she was supposed to defend against Tegan Knox.
Oh my God, and that's going to be another great
beautiful match.
Again, love what she's doing with this title because she's like, I want this to be
the title that shows the women that never got the chance.
Like a Tegan Knox.
Like a Becky Lynch.
Like, okay, but Becky Lynch got called up to the main roster and never became an afterthought.
She did. She did. Because I'm going to point out one thing. And one thing that made me very upset, and she did an interview with it. WrestleMania, what was it, 32 that the women's title got?
They retired the Divas title.
They retired the Divas title. Okay. WrestleMania 32, they came out with the deluxe edition Mattel boxes. The dolls for the women that were in that main event. They came out with a Charlotte Flair and a Sasha Banks. But the third woman that was in that event was Becky Lynch, and she didn't get one. She was an afterthought. The only time that she gained her momentum was upon becoming the man. And she will say it, and everybody else will say it till they are blue in the face. She was the biggest afterthought. And it is so depressing because she shouldn't have been. Even becoming your inaugural SmackDown Women's Champion, everybody forgot about that for the longest time once Alexa Bliss held it.
Okay, cool, but was she really an afterthought? Was she really an afterthought to the company at that point?
Yes.
No.
I believe so, yes.
I'm going to tell you why. Because she still had opportunity. She still got the TV time. She was still present. She was still active. They still gave her with the exception of the action figure.
You also have to remember there was a very big chunk of time where she was not on TV, and that wasn't her own doing. That was because they had nothing for her. She was an afterthought.
But when has her career ever really taken a backseat? Like current, and I can name
currently, yes,
a list of superstars that since being called up have just been sitting in back catering, waiting.
That's because
for nothing.
That's because they pull up people that they don't need nowadays.
Tegan Knox
pulled her up when they didn't need her,
and this has happened more than once. Nikki Cross
pulled her up and didn't need her. They pulled her up and disbanded Sanity. If you would have kept them together, they would have had screen time.
Nikki Cross hasn't been relevant since Nikki ASH, and that was
cringy.
One, that was cringy. Two, it only lasted about a month. And three, before and after that, when was she ever really needed? When was she ever really relevant? Thought
when she
to that company's mind?
When she held the tag titles.
When have the tag titles ever really been a primary thought to this company?
Well, it was during the pandemic.
Was it really, though?
Yeah, because they were really actually defended.
Was it really, though?
Yes, they were defended.
They were treated like a game of hot potato.
At least they were defended.
Nobody cared. If your fans aren't even invested, you could tell the company wasn't invested in these damn titles.
Then they shouldn't have had them.
Other names that I can point out that have been in catering for the longest time, and this one goes back years. Tamina.
She's never really been anything.
That's an afterthought. Becky Lynch is not an afterthought. Becky Lynch wasn't an afterthought. And at this point in her career, Becky Lynch will never be an afterthought.
At this point, no. Previously, yes.
No.
Yes.
We're going to have to agree to disagree on this one. Because I will never see Becky Lynch as an afterthought.
You personally won't.
Most fans that actually pay attention we'll see that she was never really an afterthought, no matter how much people want to argue and say, oh, but this moment of her career or that moment, she was never truly an afterthought. And again, we'll just have to agree to disagree on it. Because if we continue having this conversation, we're going to be talking in the same circle we have been for the last 5 minutes at this point.
All right, we are cutting this off. That is NXT recap, No Mercy.
Overall grade B+.
All right, laters.
Later.